Pranam, pranam. So, we will begin today by trying to get an idea of what is yoga. What is yoga all about? So we have to define in simple language what is yoga. योग एक अंतर यात्रा है. So योग, okay, when you still yourself outside. योग एक अंतर यात्रा है. योग is an inner ascent through ever more refined and ever more expanded spheres of consciousness to get to the God essence, to get to the superconsciousness which lies at the core of your own being. अंदर बूंद है, बाहर सागर है. खुद ही को ढूंढने चला. खुद ही को ढूंढने चला. So the inner drop of spirit within you is one with the universal spirit. The jiva's endeavor to become one with Shiva is yoga. So for that inner journey, you have to break all the barriers of your physical ailments, your passions, your emotions, your mind. तो अपने आप को मिटाना है. जो कुछ हम क्लास में सीखे हैं, whatever we have learned, we have to unlearn it to get to that state of purity. And mental barriers and emotional trappings and religious conditioning. So the construct of the mind was destroyed. The mind, which is conditioned, was made unconditioned. अपने ही हाथों यानी योगा टेक्निक्स और प्राणायाम से अपने ही हाथों मैंने मिटाई है अपने आप की हस्ती. अब बचा तो सिर्फ हैपन है. अब बचा तो सिर्फ हैपन है जिसे लोग खुदा के नाम से जानते हैं. I've taken you very simply to the point what you have to do. अपने आप की जो खामियां हैं, जो idiosyncrasies हैं, जो obstacles हैं, जो fears हैं, उनको मिटाते चले जाना है. You have to destroy the construct of the mind, because the mind is the greatest obstacle to the consciousness. I'm telling you these in little verses and poems or जो शेर बनाए हैं, ये समझने के लिए. Techniques are very much more complex, but you have to go through them. So who's the problem? We are the problem. Coming in the way of our own self-realization. You put the hands of your mind upon the eyes of your soul and cry that you cannot see. Take the hands of your mind off the eyes of your soul and behold the moon of your delight. अंग्रेजी शेर है. अंग्रेजी शेर सुना है क्या कभी? अंग्रेजी पहले क्या फिरंगियों के लिए भी अंग्रेजियों के लिए बना दे, वो भी अपने बच्चे हैं. So, but how do you remove the hands of your mind from the eyes of your soul? From the jiva? How do you remove the mind? You see the splendor of your soul is covered with the mind of your mud, the mud of your mind. That mud has to be washed away by the practice of Kriya Yoga Pranayama. That's why we do Kriya Yoga. To wash away the mud of the mind from the eyes of the soul. Then only you can behold, the Jiva can behold Shiva. This is very important. And then there are many processes, to go from simple jap hai, simran hai, nitnem hai, rukmini sahab hai, sukhmini sahab hai. These are the very preliminary first processes to collect your mind, to get your mind together. Then you go to the more advanced processes. After you do your japa, then you go to pranayama. When pranayama leads to withdrawal from the senses, pratyahara. Then the next technique applied to expand your consciousness, to take your eyes away, to take your hands away from your eyes, is dharana, dhyan. And when hands have come away, you can see Shiva, which is in samadhi. Vitarka vichar samadhi. These are higher techniques, in which undisturbed you can see the image of Shiva, let's see for example. But in dhyan, you see the image of Shiva uninterrupted by any other image. But in samadhi, you see the image of Shiva and forget yourself. So when you forget yourself, that is samadhi. But yet, you have not become Shiva. But you have forgotten yourself and are only focused on Shiva. Then as you go to a subtler and subtler state, you are traveling through various states. And those people, instead of fidgeting here and there, if you look at me, as I transform you, you will see myself disappearing and you will see yourself alone. You will get the experience as I take you and lead you through states of dhyan, dharana and samadhi. You can experience the states as I talk to you. And in samadhi you can forget yourself and only see my image. And then in higher things, meditation techniques like purushkhyati, sudden awareness and vairagya, where you forget everything. You can imagine yourself, myself disappeared into you. That's how the Guru actually transforms you. So yoga is not just a teaching or a simran or jap and all. It is the alchemy of total transformation. And that's why when you go to people and these little seminars and satsangs, they give you little chutkula. I'm a good person, I'm breathing health and happiness, all my sorrow is gone, I'm here. These are chutkulis. We have 10,000 people attending those sessions. But when you get to the real session where he makes you disappear, and the master disappears and just an awareness is there between you and me. Aboli bol. To those sessions, very few people come. Something or the other comes. Evolution is slow as you go higher and higher and higher. Either there's some damn curfew or there's some COVID or people don't get it. Some kuch na kuch hota hai. So those people who come, they must realize the difference between a teacher's teaching, motivational speaker's teachings. Motivational speaker is very popular because it gives you what you want. मेरे लड़के की शादी उस लड़की से होना चाहिए। चलो ये मंत्र, ये 16 सोमवार करो, ये मंत्र करो, दूध से नहला महादेव को, तो वो लड़की नहीं जाएगी बाहर। Those are material things. But that's what the people, that's what they want. One person told me yesterday when I was taking an analysis, he said, Gurunath, yours is the best teaching in the world. I can write it and make it an affidavit and I can give it to you. There's nobody, that's what she said. But, Gurunath, you are not giving the people what they want. That struck me. And what do they want? मेरे लड़के की शादी उसी लड़के से हुई। What do they want? कि मैं एक लड़की से प्यार करता हूँ, मगर वो ऑलरेडी एंगेज्ड है, मैं क्या करूँ? उसके लिए क्या मंत्र हूँ? मैं हनुमान जी के जाऊँ? मैंने क्या हनुमान जी को मत जाओ, वो कुछ ब्रह्मचारी थे, तेरे को लड़का चाहिए तो हनुमान जी भगा देंगे, वो लड़की बना था, मान देंगे उसको, तो तू भी इधर से, तो उनको एक रेमेडी देना चाहिए। गुरुनाथ जी, I want to win, influence people and make lots of money. This is what your spirituality in the world is today. इस लेवल पे स्पिरिचुअलिटी है। गुरुनाथ जी, ऐसा योग में कोई मंत्र है कि मुझे सेटिस्फैक्शन नहीं मिलता। जब मैं एंगेज करता हूँ मेरे वाइफ के साथ, आई नीड ए satisfaction of the congress at the sexual level. What can I do? क्या खाऊं? मैं लहसुन खा के वेट लिफ्टिंग करूं, या मैं कुछ ऐसा शिलाजीत खाऊं for my manly potency? अभी if I had this satsang today, manly potency and shilajit, the technique of the union, there would be 20,000 people here. Am I right or not? I can only compete with Lady Gaga and Angelina Jolie if my topics are like this, because she is dealing with topics like this. खुद के शरीर का नुमाइश करना, ये करना, अमन वो हाल के हाल निकाल दो, मतलब जल्दी फियास को उसको बिल्कुल खदेड़ दो, उसको टेक अ पार्ट और उसको हटा दो बस. Yes, that is a very bad thing. There will be a lot of sound. No, not now. After this satsang. हमेशा के लिए, because if this is going to be used, the fellow, the VIP will fall flat on his face. And then the hostess will be embarrassed. She says sorry, तब तक VIP का नाक टूट गया. ये देखा नहीं, because we also had a lot of work, so the workers, some of them must be tripped, but they didn't think. So these are the topics. हमें नया घर बांधना है और नए घर को जाना है, क्योंकि ये नया घर लेना है, मेरा नया जवाई आ रहा है लड़की के साथ, तब तक हम नए हाउस में शिफ्ट करें, उसके लिए कुछ मंत्र दो. What do the people want? मेरी लड़की किसी लड़के के साथ भाग गई है, वो हमारे समाज का लड़का नहीं है, और हालांकि हम कहते हैं कि एवरीबॉडी इज इक्वल और ऑल, मुझे तो नहीं पड़ता, मुझे तो मेरे समाज का लड़का चाहिए. उसके लिए कोई मंत्र है कि उसको उसकी मन की प्रवृत्ति में बदल के वो लड़की मेरे पास आ जाए, उस लड़के को छोड़ दे. तो दिया भी है ऐसा मंत्र, आ भी गई है लड़की वापस, और फिर क्या? अब उसके बाद फिर मैं चिंतित हूँ, वो लेडी पे रही, अब मुझे सूटेबल लड़का चाहिए इसके लिए, अब वो लड़का मिले नहीं, और वही लड़का बार बार आए, उन्हें क्या इसलिए तो बड़ी मुसीबत है, ठंडी का हवन करके उसको स्वाहा कर दो. So if I give these sort of things, it will be very popular. I know I'm giving you the best teaching in the world. I'm not teaching firstly, I'm giving you a transmission. Now I will lead you a step-by-step meditation into which you will experience what I'm talking about. Because I'm not a teacher. I can teach wrong and all, but the experience will be dead accurate. It's the experience that is important. Teachers inform, masters transform. So with me it's the alchemy about total transformation. So these sort of things, questions, they say, Gurunath, unless you answer these sort of questions, यहाँ तो मेरे थाई के inside there's a huge void. वो ठनक रहा है. It's about to be launched. उसमें पस भर गया है, void है. कैसे मैं ध्यान करूंगी? void यहाँ ठनक रहा है. आप कह रहे हो समाधि में जाओ. Transmission भी दिया आपने, तो मेरे में जाते हो समाधि में, but some part of my mind is in the body. So that is, ये जायज है. This is very important. So my advice to all the masters is don't try to get the biggest crowd, because the Maslow's triangle, the triangle goes like this. The most basic things, the largest following is these personal problems. After that, a little narrower following is drumming and food fest. you know, बल्ले बल्ले ये आप करोगे बहुत लोग आएगा और खाना अच्छा दे दो. स्पिरिचुअलिटी की ऐसी की तैसी, वो तो नाम हमने लिखा है, द स्पिरिचुअल कॉन्शियसनेस ऑफ द हिमालयन योगीज. और यहाँ अच्छा खाना आप दे दो, दे आर नॉट गोइंग टू कनेक्ट. उसके बाद आता है ब्रीदिंग एंड सिंपल टेक्निक्स, जैसे सूर्य की टेक्निक्स. Those techniques, you're climbing up Maslow's triangle. Then the next stage is to give them, after they have come, give them Surya. Why will Surya work? Aajkal people, they want instant satisfaction. ये ज़माना है instant satisfaction का. I'm analyzing myself with you, and I want the feedback. You can tell me if what I'm saying is wrong. What do you think I'm speaking now? Yes, this is a good feedback. He's told me there's a lot of international audience. Can you speak more English? I will speak more English. And once there was a whole international audience, and I said the mantra, you know. Om शिव शक्तः युक्तो यदि भवति शक्तः प्रभवितुं न जय देवं देवो न खलु कुशल स्पन्दितुमपि ततस्थानमाराध्यां हरिहरभिरञ्चाय दीभिरपि प्रणन्तं स्तोत्रं वा कथमकृत्य पुण्यं प्रभवति. ओम शिव शक्तः युक्तो यदि भवति शक्तः प्रभवितुं. So all the people who did not understand English, they said, we can smell the jasmine and the lavender in the words. Please say it on. We don't care about the words. We want the flavor. And Gurunath, you have said that teachers inform, masters transform. The teacher must speak in English, the master speak in any language. He will convey the message to you like I did through this mantra. When I was chanting this mantra, none of you know Sanskrit of that caliber. How many could you feel that you are lifted into another world and get a flavor? The other worldly flavor, raise your hands. There you go, right up, don't bend your elbows. There you go. Those who didn't get the flavor now know that they were in the mind. Don't in the mind. This is a technique to hit you from your mind to your intuition. Because there's nothing to grasp, there's no words to understand. So you have to feel. You have to feel in still awareness. And that is intuition. So that's part of the training also. My audiences know that I go off into the Sanskrit or the Persian or this thing. They enjoy it. Because I'm transmitting all the time, I'm not teaching, it's not the words. Now what I'm going to do is, in this free satsang, everybody talks about yoga and meditation and all. But nobody gives it. Everybody, all the teachers, motivations, they talk about mangoes, how sweet the mango is, how nice the amrut is. But I'm trying to give you a taste of the yogic mango today. I'll make you eat it. And this is the difference between a teacher and a master. If a master says he's a very big master and cannot do this, then he's not a master. This is the linchpin of the yogic journey. That the master, by sitting and in his very presence, you can see the aura, you can feel the vibration, and the healing is already happening to you. How much is it happening? Raise your hands. Right. इसमें बताना चाहिए कैमरा के पास कोई नहीं, there's nobody to man the camera, so that's it. So this is very important, and I will take some question answers. After which, I will take you with me on the inner journey. I'll try to simplify it as much as possible to tell you how yoga is an inner ascent through ever more refined and ever more expanded spheres of consciousness, which supports the subtler and subtler thought. The lesser the thoughts, the more the consciousness expands. So I'm taking you through this expansive sphere. But before this, I will relax a bit. We will have some question answers. If anybody has question answers.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
It's a question that's come on Facebook. So her name is Yamila, and she says, I'm watching Gurunath Satsang. The question is, does the perfect human being exist? First question. Second question is, what is the purpose of the descent of the spirit into matter and the ascent of the matter into spirit?
I can only answer the question if she felt my vibration while I was chanting the Sanskrit mantra. Ask her, I'm waiting for the answer. If she receives that, then she'll understand my question. Otherwise, it will be an exercise in futility. If you haven't received my transmission, that's an exercise. Well, I'm not a teacher. Many of you have come here expecting there to be a teacher, and you meet a madman. I mean, what the hell? It's a shock for your sensibilities. You see, you have to strip yourself of all coverings, all strappings, all hypocrisy, and be as naked as a child. Gagan mandal mein balak bole taka naam dharoge kaisa. You cannot describe the sweetness of a newborn child's cry. How can you describe it? The newborn child is crying in the spotless skies. How can you label that? So that is the purity that you have to leave in your mind. That is the inner journey. Have you typed your thing and asked?
No, Altaf is doing it because I don't have Facebook on this.
अच्छा वो कर रहा है हाँ.
What is intuition? Intuition. What is intuition? Intuition.
For you, non-stubbornness is intuition. The moment you take away the stubbornness of the mind, the intuition will flow. First, still one-to-one question answer. आप हटा के देखो, your intuition is already there. But you are a very determined person. That determination has to be lessened. And please try to rely on an inner stillness. Yes, we will have some question answers. No, I think this lady is waiting for it.
So I just wanted to piggyback off of what she asked. What is the difference between fear and intuition, and how are you supposed to know what it is that you're experiencing?
Fear and intuition, it's two poles apart. Everybody knows the difference. I mean, look, fear requires energy. Intuition requires energy. The energy in fear is negative and dark. It has more tamogun in it, neutrons. And so that energy is dark and has neutrons. The intuitive energy has only the electron, which is harmony and rhythm. Okay? Now, this is the difference. The guna dharma. The gunas are small photonic movements in this earth which have a dark effect of inertia and negativity, and intuition are those photons of light, electron, which have vibrations and motions of lightness and rhythm. So based on the three gunas of these emotions, you take away the negativity and darkness of this, and you take away the positive electron, the positivity of that, the sattva and the tama, you get pure energy. Pure energy is the complete flow of an undifferentiated fabric of radiant light, who we in our colorful language call Para Prakriti Amba, Adi Shakti Parmeshwari, the Divine Mother. So what is the Divine Mother? She is the undifferentiated fabric of radiant light. Undifferentiated. But the moment that fabric is disturbed by a negative neutron or a positive electron, that disturbs the undifferentiated light, and that light takes the form of fear energy. This light takes the form of intuitive energy. Can I explain it to you more scientifically? Is that good explanation? Did you like it? What did it? bird flew over the cuckoo's nest. So this is how it is. Because I'm trying to give you the best in words. That's why I don't use words. Words are so limited. Experience is direct. As I'm talking to you and sitting, I'm radiating the light and already healing you. My main work I'm doing here at this satsang is 70 to 80% aboli board that I'm doing, which you will not grasp. And about 10% I'm giving you the talk. 10-15%. Dissipating the mind is such a nonsense. The human being lives in a bedlam of misery created by his own thoughts. You put the hands of your mind, you put the bedlam of misery of your hands upon the soul, the intuition, the intuitive soul. That has to be removed. And that can be washed away by pranayam. Can you please not come again?
Gurunath, here.
That's it.
Gurunath, you taught me Kriya in February in the ashram, and you instructed that I should increase it to 72 after a month. I wanted to ask you, after how long can I further increase it, and to how much?
How much you doing?
36, and after meeting you, I'll be starting 72 tomorrow.
Yeah, do 72. And then after the next 3 months, do 72 morning and 72 evening.
Thank you, Gurunath.
I have told you what yoga is.
At the back.
Now I am going to talk about the beauty of Kriya Yoga. As the gentle abrasion of the river transforms the stone into a shivling, as the gentle abrasion of the Narmada river transforms every kankar, every stone into shankar, so also the gentle abrasion of Kriya Yoga transforms your jiva into Shiva. It has this import, that's why I'm encouraging you to do it. And not am I giving you the menu by talking, I'm giving you the food to eat. By walking hand in hand with you, I will hold your hand and take you step by step. I know that some of you it's the first year where you just learn to walk. You take 1 year to walk, right? How long did you take to walk? When did you start walking? First year or second year? You don't know when you started walking? When you were a baby and you were born, how long did you take to stand up on your 2 feet and start walking? Don't you guys know it? You are all being babies of 1 year. Come on. And the mother says, come on, come on, come on. And then it goes like this. So that's the Guru who's leading you. And he never lets you fall. You don't know that you start walking at 1 year? 1 year is the age. So if that is your age for practicing yoga, the master will help you. He will not let you fall. That is the way of transforming yourself. Why do you want to do yoga? Is it necessary? Of course it's necessary because it's your parent source. It's your true nature. It's like asking me, is it necessary to be you? Of course it's necessary to be me. I'd rather be me than somebody else. But the question is, who is the true me? Is it my physical body? No. Is it my eyes? No. Is it my nose? No. Is it my feeling of sexual satisfaction? It's doubtful because that time when I get into the zone of that, it appears that that's me. I'm so involved in it. But that's not me because it's temporary. Is it your intellectual glory? No. Is it your samadhi? No. Is it your charity? No. Is it your goodness? No. Is it Greenpeace feeling for the dolphin and aborting your own child? No. Yet there's a human rights movement. I don't want to get into that. But then I want to just get eliminate everything one by one, then who are you? This is the question. And this cannot be realized by me giving you a lecture or you listening to it. It can be realized by practicing the techniques, the means of realization. And one of the basic means of realization is Kriya Yoga. Therefore practice Kriya Yoga to realize the true nature of your being. This is very, very important. Very important.
Gurunath ji, Amit here.
Amit, yeah, bolo.
Gurunath ji, I wanted to know that how to experience Nirvikalp Samadhi. What are the steps towards it?
That's what I'm going to tell you just now and make you experience it. I believe there are more than this amount of people watching today. I'd like those people who are not here pratyaksha, not here in person, but those who are watching from a distance to also tune in and cooperate with me. I was told by one of the assistants here that I would be able to see the limited group of people, but maybe it was in some other subset. Can I see the people watching on the... Oh, that was tomorrow. And other people watching today?
Yes.
How about them? Okay guys, anyway, imagination. I can see all your nice dresses and your smiling faces. You're so eager and some of you know me and you know my style of approach. I will lead you by the hand, step by step. But keep your mind focused on me. That also I will magnetize myself to such a degree that your random thoughts will go nowhere but to me. And I will lead you step by step. I will take you in the Nath field, in the Gurunath field. And you, dear magnet, you, dear iron filings, when you come within my field, you will have no other choice but to walk with me step by step to the Holy of Holies. You will walk with me to the Holy of Holies. जहाँ ध्यान न स्थान न नाद न बिंद, आकाश नहीं वहाँ काल कहाँ, सब शून्य अशून्य का हैपन है, ईश्वर भी निरंकार वहाँ. You will be experiencing this. Now I'm going to try and see if I can have it in English. Yes. So I will walk you to the Holy of Holies, where stiller than stillness itself, with bated breath, you will behold your rising self-sun's nectar gold. You will dissolve in that mystery untold. It's a pity people don't understand English here, so but the audience is because you're going to compliment the first one with this. This is what I've fished out from this. These are the type of poems which are nearest to what you will be experiencing today. And to make, you know what your minds are. Bhagwan Bajai. And this is the task which is more difficult than conquering the world. To conquer even one of your minds is a task. Here there are 100 minds. ऐसा करो जरा, just get me some tea before I start the session.
Gurunath ji, one more question I had. Can I ask?
Yes, you can ask. His voice comes here.
Should I?
Yes, you can go ahead and ask questions. I'm getting on to the technique now. I'm just waiting for people to settle down and relax.
He said yes.
Don't be in your mind. Please don't be in your mind. Shift your from your head, shift to your heart and just feel like you're eating a nice ice cream or something, or breathe green. Just be like a child of 5, drop all inhibition. I think she gave you the spiel here, no?
Yeah.
Babette?
Yes.
Did she say become a child of 5 and drop all inhibition?
Yes.
People have not heard, heeded to that. Don't use your intellect here. We cannot use our intellect compared to him. Be like Einstein, humble. If Einstein can be humble, so can you. We are nobody. Yes, Pucho.
Namaste, Gurunath. So what is evil eye and evil energy, and how we can prevent it from harming us?
What is email eye?
Evil eye. Evil eye जैसे बोलते हैं बुरी नजर.
No. So who told you about this evil eye?
Sir,
Your mother.
so in community they say कि बुरी नजर से बचो या बुरी नजर लग गई है तुम्हारे काम नहीं बन रहे हैं.
तो अब ऐसा करो कि जब बुरी नजर आए तो एक ऐसे आदमी के सामने जाके बैठो जिसकी अच्छी नजर हो, बुरी नजर मिट जाए. ऐसा है क्या कोई तुम्हारे ख्याल में? ढूंढो ढूंढो, ढूंढने से खुदा भी मिलता है. तो अच्छी नजर वाला क्या चीज है? कभी कभी हमारे सामने बैठे और होता है, हमें दिखता है.
ढूंढ लिया.
तो काम हो गया. ये तो वाइब्रेशंस है, they are negative. You see, when your emotions are mixed with your drishti, your sight, those negative vibrations are emitted. और in Indian pictures you see, no, वो ऐसी ये करते हैं, हाय जन्म जली मर जाए, तो ये करते हैं. वो मोदी अपनी लेडीज की जो वोकैबुलरी यूज करती हैं, तो वैसा कुछ तो भी है. वैसे सीरियल देखते होते हैं तो वो आती है बहू, दो बहुएं होती है, एक बहू छोटी होती है से वो अपने सास के लिए चाय बनाने जाती है. तो छोटी बहू जो है वो उसमें कुछ परगुलैक से ओपनिंग डोर तो जब छोटी बहू चाय को देती है तो सास बाथरूम को बकती है. और फिर नेक्स्ट ये जब देखा है कि ये छोटी बहू काल कोठड़ी में बंद है और रो रही है, और बड़ी बहू ने अपना गाँव पेच होता है, गाँव पेच. These are the type of questions you have to answer if you want a large body. Because humanity is not at present at the stage of pure spirituality. It's a step-by-step process. अभी जो आपको ले जाओ, I'm leading you step by step. Don't have any attitude of I amness. Because if you have attitude, firstly no one will give you this experience. You have a chance to get it. उसमें आप आकर दिखाओगे तो फिर काम नहीं बनेगा. You have to let go and make yourself available to me. Right? Let go यानी छोड़ दो. क्या?
Gurunath ji, a Satguru has disciple, devotee and sevaks. So, in terms of spiritual growth, is there any difference in the three that if you are a disciple, that your spiritual growth is fast, or if you are only a devotee, then the spiritual growth is slightly prolonged? Is there something
You
that
see, let me tell you that the whole world, the whole solar system, the whole galaxy, the whole cluster, the super cluster, and the whole universe is rotating and revolving. The whole movement, the waft and the weft of creation is evolution. The only thing is some evolve slower and some evolve quicker, depending upon two factors. The superiority of the technique you practice, which will depend upon which technique suits you. And the second is the intensity or sincerity with which you practice. So you're going to be involved in any case. All rivers are flowing to the ocean. So when I shall reach the ocean is a question of time. But for those eagle hearts who love the Lord beyond everything, who love the game beyond all price, to those eagle hearts they need Kriya Yoga, the lightning path, the fast method. Some people say this is not as necessary, many people are living without doing yoga. I mean, what's wrong? So nobody is denying it. Who called you here? You came here because you thought there's some value in this. Otherwise, it's your choice. Nothing in the world is of value. You can use that argument and win. Or everything in the world is of value. You can use that argument and win. So, let's not go into semantics and words and nuances. These are all sissy things. Procrastination is the thief of time. Put your shoulder to the wheel. Get to the job. Get it done. Don't argue. Because if you listen to the opinion of the world, you'll never get that. One person says it's not essential, the other person says it's good. Once there was a man, an old man. He had a young son, a grandson, and a donkey. They were shifting from one village to the other. So the man, he was there, and the son and the man were walking, and the donkey was in the front. The villagers, oh my God, village unasked for opinion. Look at this cruel man. That poor boy is making him walk, and he should be given the donkey. The boy didn't make it sick. He heard it. So then he put the boy on the donkey, and they kept walking. Next village they went and said, oh my God, look at that selfish little boy. He's sitting on the donkey and making the poor man walk. Hasn't he been taught manners in his school? So then the boy took off the donkey. He took him off the donkey. Then they both sat on the donkey and said, oh my God, the poor donkey. He is being loaded by this man. So they get off the donkey. And when they went to the third village, they were both walking with the donkey on their head. तो पब्लिक ओपिनियन ने हमें क्या क्या बना दिया और कुछ न बन सके तो तमाशा बना दिया। पब्लिक ओपिनियन ने हमें क्या क्या बना दिया और कुछ न बन सके तो तमाशा बना दिया। हम बेवकूफ बन गए। तो प्लीज डोंट लिसन टू पब्लिक ओपिनियन। Speak to your conscience. What you think is right, follow the path, get to the true being, whoever it may be. If you have the courage of your convictions, you shall succeed. If you do not have the courage of your convictions, you will still evolve, but floundering here and there slowly. So what is the use if you're going, may as well go properly. Simplify कर रहा हूँ. All of you are ready, or some of you have still got the I in you? How many of you got? How many of you are ready? Put your hands down. How many of you? I'm looking at the screen also. People who are watching. How many of you have got the I in you? Raise your hands. Everybody, raise your hands. Everybody, come on, come on. Come on, lady at the back. Believe me, I am. Now put your hands back. You see, when I say drop the eye, it's not so easy. You're dropping 60%, 50%, 60%. Enough for me to get in and give you the experience. Total eye cannot be dropped. Only when I take you to the last stage, where you have no thought, and you're enjoying the bliss, which I am giving you as a seva, serving my larger self. My work is to serve humanity as my larger self. That time, it will temporarily disappear. That's what you're going to do. The removal of the eye. You know, there's a beautiful saying, I made another shade. But listen carefully because some of it goes, you are the birds in the cuckoo's nest. So let it not go over. This is a शेर, बहुत अच्छा शेर है. आप गौर फरमाइए. सरदार साहब गौर फरमाइए आप. The more and more I disappear, the more and more I disappear, the more the self as God appears. मैंने एक लेडी क्लैप कर रही थी. मैंने क्या समझा आपको वही. तो मैंने क्या फिर क्लैप क्यों कर रही थी? सब क्लैप कर रहे हैं. हम रिवाज के अनुसार ये क्लैप कर रहे हैं. समझा भी नहीं होगा तो ट्रांसफॉर्म हो जाएगा. To make it simpler, the more and more my I disappears, the more the self as God appears. So the Atma is different and the I is different. The more and more, the more and more, the more and more, the more my I doth disappear, the more myself as God appears. This is the second thing. This is clearer. And the first one is the more and more I disappear, the more the self as God appears. No need to explain too much. You have to figure it out. So this is what yoga is all about, to make the I disappear so that the self can appear. To make the mud of the mind disappear so the Atma can appear. Are you people feeling a little satisfied that you have been told enough so that it can satisfy you to a great extent, right? Things have been told. And how many could transform my words into food and feel that they have been healed by the talk I have given so far? Raise your hands. How many people feel that there's a healing? Okay, good. And you feel it is mere words, right? You feel it's a healing is taking place. Then why didn't you raise your hands?
I didn't feel the food, I
Hand is
felt the
healing.
healing.
Huh?
I didn't feel the food, but I felt healing.
She didn't feel the what?
She didn't feel food but felt the healing.
Hunger is more.
No, food, that's the English. I'm saying the food is the healing. I'm sorry. You know, in the hotel, they give you a menu. The teacher comes and gives you the menu. And then the master comes and gives you the food. That's the difference. Teachers inform, masters transform. So I'm going to give you the food now. But I've already given it in my transmission. पूछिए कुछ पूछना है तो.
What is the no? I'm audible. What is the what is the purpose of this creation by the God? Like
I think it's a bad idea to pass the mic around. I'm not being a spoiled sport or a party pooper. I'm just telling you that the mic, if you're passing around the COVID in the holes of the mic to everyone, it's better not done. अपने को कभी ध्यान नहीं रहता. तो वैसे ही जोर से बोलो. Don't miss that. Let's not miss it. जोर से बोलो. जय माता दी. 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 जोर से बोलो. 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 जय माता दी. पूछो. What is the purpose of
this whole creation? I would say the planet Earth and human beings, and the way we come as humans.
Are you? Is somebody tied your feet over there to chase? Come closer. Please don't feel shy. I won't transform you in a moment. इसी तरह मैं तुमने ट्रांसफॉर्म किया और मैं हवा बन गई. कुछ नहीं होगा. धीरे धीरे करूँगा.
I would love that.
धीरे धीरे ना.
Instant.
बोलो.
Not instant. I have my own response. I just wanted to ask, what is the purpose of this whole creation by the God? I mean, why we are born as human beings and there's cycle of life and death, and then why we aren't pure as God, like pure consciousness? Why there is so much evil, suffering, and crime here, and we have to seek God this way? Why we are not like God? If there's a spark in us.
We are like God. We are made in the perfect image of God. But only a drop of that God is within us. And we are identical to God. And this drop is making its way towards the ocean, its parent source. That's what evolution and yoga is all about. And another lady asked that question which you read out to me. She has asked the same question. Is it the same lady?
No. This is somebody from on TV.
It's like my granddaughter came to me. Suppose this is my granddaughter standing there. Ajoba, what is the general theory of relativity? So I said, beta, when you grow up, you will understand it. Actually, the special theory of relativity of Einstein is very simple. The general theory is the complex one. So she somehow found out. So, ये हमारे जो प्रश्न है, I will answer your question definitely. We are too small an entity in this, and the question is too vast. If I talk on this question, it may take me a month, 2 months of a sequence of predictions, of a sequence of explanations. But I will answer it in brief. I will to make an endeavor. I'm not claiming that I will answer it, but you will be pretty satisfied. So the first question is this, that we are made in the image of God. A drop of the ocean of God's infinite love and mercy is within the core of our own being, which is known as Jivatma. That's why in Marathi we have a saying, Jiva Shivachi Zadali Samadhi. And there's a technique, there's a word, a mantra which God has given it, which we say in our yogic params. The yogis always say, Ek Omkar Satnam. आप एक ओमकार कीजिए. Omkar is the vibration of God, and that vibration will carry you to the Satguru. Okay? So now, the question is, you can sit down comfortably and
Thank you.
I don't know if she can hear. You're from Chandigarh or you're
Yeah,
from
I'm
here?
based here.
You stay here. Which sector?
Sector 4.
How is the sector? No, because in Chandigarh, if you want to know where the person comes from, it's a demographic. You ask them how's the sector. With sector 9 and all, then we say, do you have a business or you do some restauranting business? So they say, yes, we are there. So sector 4 is a good sector, right?
She's a lawyer now.
Ah, that's why she put me on the spot. My God, this is the lawyer we will have. Acha, chalo, to I will tell you now. Creation. She has asked about the whole of creation. पूरा कारखाना खोल दिया. प्रश्न है कारखाना खोल दिया. खुदाई की खुदाई क्या है? और खुदा खुदाई करता है तो क्यों करता है? और किसको खोदता है? उसमें मुर्दे भी मिलते हैं और जिंदे भी मिलते हैं. तो ये खुदाई के खुदा का प्रश्न है. Come on, have a heart, man. Have a heart. Don't slaughter me, don't labor me about such a question. ये सारी खुदाई आपके सर पे रख दी. मुझे इसका टेस्ट तो करनी होगी का अल्टीमेट. फिर मैं डिसाइड करूंगी कि मैं आऊंगी कि नहीं. ये मेरा डिसाइडेड क्वेश्चन है.
I just wanted to have my mental clarity regarding the.
You will get clarity, dear lady. You will get the clarity. Now getting to the basic question. If she goes on to further ask a question, yes, can you, Bhushna, listen to me, not to Jyoti. What are you talking about? Let me see.
No, she's recording it, so she's asking, can she record? So I said, no, she
Let them record. We are doing an awareness campaign. She'll record and she'll then try to say, speak it in her own mouth, ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा. काय को record कर रही? It's a good question. You should record.
I was gonna send it to my family.
That's a good idea. You stay in America or someplace? Where?
I live in Vegas.
Vegas. They need it the most.
I need to be here the most, actually.
Gamble bell, gamble bell, gamble all day. Santa Claus is coming with his toys for us today. Hey, gamble bell, gamble bell, gamble bell. It's a Vegas, no? There's a song, the Vegas song, gamble bell. Okay. So, the basic question is, if we are God, why are we not perfect like God? So I have answered. I said that we are perfect like God, but the ocean is God and we are the drop and the ocean is within us. So we are there. The second question is then, if we are there, why did we at all have to come here in this drop and make all the effort to go back again? So here's the answer to the second question. This is why, because we are a spark of the perfect infinite of reality, which is Shiva. But Shiva has a consort called relativity. Reality and relativity. So you as souls are all perfect in reality. You have already come from the bosom of the Lord. Mahadev. Khali puri pari sari khudai. Srishti. Whole of relativity. So you have experience in reality, but you have not the experience of relativity. So therefore the soul, each one of spark of God, is sent into the university of life to learn all your lessons in life, from theft to murder to avarice to greed. First as the descent of consciousness and reality into relativity. That is the descent. The descending part is called the pravritti marg, where consciousness descends into denser and denser energy levels of matter till it experiences all the pleasures of life, the hardships and sorrows of life, till it is saturated with every possible experience in life as it comes life after life, 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 till it hits rock bottom. This is called the pravritti marg, where the consciousness enters. This is the involution of consciousness into matter. It is the system of creation, thermodynamic. Then when you hit, then another cycle starts, which is called from the pravritti marg, when you have learned all your desires, satisfied all your emotions and desires of every person, place and thing. Then you decide to go on another path which is called the nivritti marg. The pravritti marg is the involution of consciousness in matter, and the nivritti marg is the evolution of consciousness from matter to its parent source. And when after millions and millions of lives you have completed this cosmic cycle and sit on the right hand of God, God will say, "This is my beloved Son, in whom I am well pleased." Yes, because in God's eyes, nothing is good and nothing is bad, nothing is evil and nothing is foul and nothing is white and nothing is black. All is as it is. And because the whole wheel of creation, the Kal Chakra is moving in the pravritti and the nivritti marg, so we as little atoms, we are lives. As we live our lives, there's another share in English. As we live our lives down the river of years, as we live, as we live our lives down the river of years on our way to the ultimate sea, a drop of that sea is also in me, ultimately to become that reality. Sometimes I make spontaneous share sharana, बना देता हूँ. जैसे वो सिद्धनाथ ये है, कोई इलाहाबादी है, कोई मुरादाबादी है, कोई ये ग्वालियरी है, चंडीगढ़ है. So this is that, a part of that is also in me, and when through yoga I go to the ultimate sea, the drop merges in the sea, because then after that, I know that my body is the same energy as the consciousness. So I am in a jug, a bottle of ice, my consciousness is water, I am in the bottle of iced water, and the ocean is also water. So when the bottle melts by yogic practice, the drop merges into the ocean. So this is the second question. First was, is God, why aren't we like God? We are like God. Second question is then, why do we have to go through this rigmarole? Kal chakra kyun hai, karma kyun? So this is to get experience through the university of life and get fully enlightened. As we are enlightened in reality, we also want to get enlightened in relativity. क्योंकि माँ के गर्भ से भी अपने को जाना है. There are certain high initiation rites where you have to pass actually through the entrails. Of course, the entrails of the cow. You have to pass through the birthing process, and the people actually pass through entrails. There are villages deep and long that the practices have stopped. So they make a cow. You got to pass through the entrails of that cow and come out through the mouth. Showing that you have passed through relativity, you have passed through the birth cycles. You are lessening the birth cycles by passing through. बड़ी बड़ी विचित्र चीजें आदमी करता है, उसके जो दिमाग में आता है वो टेक्निक से वर्क करता है. You must note this. People have studied this. So the second question is, the pravritti marg and the nivritti marg is done. He gets knowledge. But why is it necessary to be done? Because he will not be complete in knowledge. You must have knowledge not only of the good but of the bad and the good. I. Does it satisfy your intellect?
Yes. Yes.
Now, secondly, if the consciousness, why must the perfected consciousness, like the Buddha or the Christ, have to go through all the entrails of the cow? The entrails. Why doesn't it have to go through the process of birth? And they deliberately take birth, they go into the mother's womb, and they come out with the placenta, then it is clean, and then it is. But some people choose not to do that. They just do this to themselves, and they appear in the lotus. Padma Sambhava. Padma Sambhava. Gorakna, the lightning standing still. So they choose it. Another thing to realize is that if the spirit lingered and did not come into the lower stratas of manifestation, the whole earth, you and I, the trees and the plants, and the animals, the wildlife, the flora and the fauna, would all be inert and dead matter. So to bring Prakriti in creation, to bring the Prakriti to life, although Shakti, Devi is known as Shakti, she cannot move unless she is vivified by Shiva. She has to vivify herself by Shiva. And unless the Shiva vivifies the Shakti and the spirit comes into matter, behind every thought, behind every atom, behind every molecule is the Spirit of God. Then your creation becomes alive. Otherwise the purpose of creation would be defeated. It's a very deep answer. Please take time to think about what I'm saying. यदि चैतन्य नहीं, चेतना नहीं आई, तो शरीर तो मुर्दा होगा ना. शरीर हो ही नहीं पाएगा. It's a combination of Shiva and Shakti. This is how creation functions. I hope I have answered most of the question that you've asked, madam. Right? Yes. Anybody, any more questions? Of course, these are questions which are not usually asked and people are not prepared, but this is the logic behind it. Because Shakti wants to bring Shiva. She has to bring Shiva down. So the symbol of Shakti is always coaxing the Shiva to this thing. You see, every time, if you take a small everyday example, it is two people going on a date, man and woman. It's okay for 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 1 year, 2 months. Then the woman says, can you please come for coffee. Please sit down. She makes the man sit down. The man is the idiot. He's looking here and there. She says, I have an idea. How about we build a family? How about we have a home of our own? It's always the woman who asks this, to settle down because of the hormone of oxytocin. She is the one who says, let's settle down. Enough of fun. We've had one, we've been to Bali, we've been to Switzerland, we've been blah blah blah. We've been on a Elon Musk's rocket in deep space. Now we've had enough. Now can we settle? No, I think we should have a little more. That chap does not have the hormone of oxytocin. Oxytocin is a chemical in the body which gives the women a desire to build a house and have babies. And therefore they will always ask, and that is the sensible thing, because otherwise the man will be roaming around like a banjara. That's why you see more men banjaras than the women. The banjara घूमते रहता है aimlessly, and he's trying to shirk the responsibility. So this is the nature of nature. This is important. And then when that happens, then creation happens. Because Shiva is always in samadhi and meditation. So Parvati बोली खाना लग गया कब तक meditation में हो? वो ये जो हमारे घर होता है हमारे साथ जीवन लाने खट भूला समाधि में अरे खाओगे नहीं तो ध्यान कैसे करोगे? तो आप अभी चलो फिर खाना लगाए फिर घर बसाए. She is the one who initiates the household. That's why Purush and Prakriti. Drishta, Drishti and Srishti. Drishta is Shiva. Drishti is the process, the buddhi, the child, the link. And Srishti is the creation. Have you got it? What are the facilities for this? Have you made any other facility you're going to go there? Next time, see it is prepared for the next satsang. See that all the equipments are here. Like this mic and all, chai should also be there.
There's more people.
Huh?
There's more.
Yeah, go no more. और की मांग तो हर इंसान में होती है. So, any questions? This was a very nice question, and I'm happy that Madam asked. May we know your name, Madam?
Pushpa.
Okay. That Madam Pushpa asked.
Pushpa.
Huh?
Sushma.
Sushma. Okay.
Yogiraj,
Yes.
I've done a lot of research on what Shakti is and what I'm experiencing. I'm looking for help.
You are experiencing Shakti only.
Yes.
What is coming out from me is Shakti.
Please
So now I'm going to lead you through Shakti to Shiva. You will be experiencing Shiva also.
Please
You
help
see,
me.
this is crazy. How can he do this? Is he crazy or something? In a Kadaknath, this thing he's doing the Kadaknath treatment. Kadak treatment is there on Kadaknath case. Now, so yes, you will get the experience. I'm going to give you the experience. But the question is, are you ready for my experience?
Yes.
Are you ready to walk with me step by step to the subtler and subtler realms of your own mind? Raise your hands. Put your hands down. Next question. Answer carefully. Are you worthy at this particular moment, not 10 years ago? Are you worthy at this particular moment to walk with me step by step to subtler regions? Raise your hands.